Well, hello, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Faith Woodard. Fall got off to an active start, but now that the storms have passed, the sun is out and the temps have dropped into the 70s.
Yeah, very nice, pleasant day out there, and that put Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannan out in the garden, and he brought a friend along with him tonight. Tom?
Oh, you know I did, and you know it wouldn't be a weather forecast out in the garden without the fire truck siren this time of night. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Addie Garrett. Addie is a third-time Weather Kid of the Day. It's a special day for her. She has a special day we'll talk about in just a few minutes, but she's going to help me with the weather forecast, or bigger forecast here in just a few minutes. But just one word, how would you describe the weather today?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Gorgeous, sensational, spectacular, just in a word. Let's check your numbers outside. We've got an upper level low pressure area moving across the region, and on the backside of that low, we're getting a northerly to northwesterly wind flow at the surface. That's bringing the dry air in, and temperatures have been in the middle 70s here pretty much all afternoon. We may bump up a degree with the sunshine, but we'll cool off tonight. Dew points making a difference. The lower the dew point, the more comfortable, the drier the air. So we still have a ways to go with those dew points lowering throughout the nighttime hours tonight and tomorrow. There is your hour-by-hour forecast. Lows dropping off into the lower 60s. I'll have the rest of your weekend forecast and Addie's special weather forecast for us coming up here in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Tom, we'll look forward to that. Meanwhile, business is booming in parts of downtown Little Rock, growing so fast, some people are asking for drivers to slow down.
THV 11's Carter Thwee joins us live from SoMa. Carter, tell us more about this area of concern.
Faith, Rolly, the area that I'm in is the intersection of 15th and Main. You got the Root Cafe right here, Loblolly Creamery a little ways more to my right, but it's this intersection behind me and ones like it up and down Main Street that have some business leaders and residents concerned. They say that cars speed through here, they speed past crosswalks, pedestrians, cyclists, and it's a cause for concern, especially at certain times of day.
I have a picture window onto Main Street. I have seen so many close calls.
Shelly Green owns the Green Corner store at the intersection of 15th and Main. Her experience is echoed by people like Jack Sundell, co-owner of the Root Cafe.
People are just down here trying to enjoy themselves, walk around with their families while cars are speeding through at the same time. So, you know, those aren't two things that mix well.
Not to mention the danger for cyclists in the area. That's a concern Brittany Nichols, president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, has.
It's definitely important to the residents that they feel safe and that these intersections work for them as pedestrians, cyclists, dog walkers, but also the drivers.
Sundell says at rush hour it's even worse. That's why all three of these folks are taking matters into their own hands with an effort called Slow Down SoMa.
Cars coming through will have poles on either side, more painted signage on the street so they'll know where the bicycle lanes are, and it'll just make vehicles feel like they need to slow down as they come through these areas.
They plan to test some of these changes next Friday evening with a temporary pop-up traffic calming project. It's already approved by the city, and if residents like it, it could become permanent.
It's going to enhance it, it's going to make it look more attractive, and drivers are going to be aware, uh-oh, something happening here, I better slow down.
They've also got a survey out now about if people feel safe here on South Main, what adjustments could help them feel safer, and the results of that survey are going to be presented to the city. So if you'd like to take it, the link will very soon be on our website, thv11.com.
All right, thanks, Carter. Meanwhile, tonight, Arkansas regulators say they have seized about 6,000 illegal hemp-derived THC products since mid-July.
Yeah, that's when a federal court upheld the state law that created a ban on those products. The DFA, the agency in charge of medical marijuana, visited more than 2,800 stores across the state from late June to mid-July to inform retailers to remove the products. And after that, formal enforcement began.
So far, the crackdown has led to 2 felony arrests and several misdemeanor citations. Officials say these synthetically made products, often packaged like candy or drinks, pose serious risks, especially to kids. At the nation's capital, the Trump administration is threatening mass firings at federal agencies if the government shuts down next week. It comes after he canceled a meeting with Democratic leaders that was scheduled for today.
House Republicans have suggested a short-term funding plan that included extra money for government security, all in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. But the Senate rejected that idea. Democrats on that side want to reverse cuts to health programs like Medicaid and keep Affordable Care Act subsidies from expiring at the end of the year.
However, Congress is currently adjourned and there are no scheduled votes planned before the October 1st shutdown deadline. And it may have you wondering what it would mean for us here at home.
Yeah, despite Arkansas Representative Steve Womack saying a shutdown's looking more likely to happen than not, he also says the effects wouldn't be felt immediately, but they could still be severe around here.
And Wednesday, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton said in part, quote, Democrats would rather fund health care for illegal immigrants than work with the president, end quote.
Catching up, though, with Representative Womack, he says the blame game's got to stop, explains why any agreement is going to require compromise.
I'm in favor of us working out these differences now and not kicking the can down the road, punting into another month or two. Sign me up as a person that believes we ought to work out our differences and get this thing across the finish line in a bipartisan way and save America from the drama and the potential horrific consequences of a government shutdown.
And if members of Congress can't reach an agreement by Tuesday, the federal government is scheduled to shut down Wednesday.
Yesterday, we reported on new rules coming to federal food and nutrition services, specifically proposed changes to what stores have to stock to take EBT payments. And with thousands counting on those benefits here in Arkansas, you may ask, what do these changes mean? THV 11's Maya Ellison went to one food drive to find out.
So we know that about 8% of Arkansans, or really about 250,000 people, depend on SNAP. That's a lot of people who are trying to make ends meet on a daily basis.
That means many rely on SNAP for basic groceries. But with Wednesday's USDA announcement proposing new retailer stocking rules, some Arkansans are concerned.
We have a lot of employees that are friends with our customers, and what they're saying is our money is already tight. We're afraid it's going to get tighter. So now we look at it and say, what can we do?
The USDA says the changes would require SNAP retailers to stock 7 varieties per staple category instead of 3, stop certain snack foods from counting as staples, and simplify classification rules. The goal, they say, is to limit fraud and protect the program. George Brown, communications manager for Kroger's Arkansas region, says they are preparing for the changes.
We're following all of those guidelines, that sort of thing. So while a lot of things are kind of in flux, we are always having our ear to DC.
And at the same time, the U.S. Office of Management and Budget has told federal agencies to plan for possible layoffs if a government shutdown happens, adding more uncertainty for SNAP participants.
We're listening to what's happening with the customers and trying to find a way that we can help out, even if it's lowering a price a little bit, something we could do like that, and making it easier for customers using SNAP to know which items do count for SNAP.
Sylvia Blaine, CEO of the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance, says, quote, a shutdown could put even more strain on households already trying to stretch their food budgets.
UA Little Rock professor of law Joshua Silverstein explains the uncertainty families face during a shutdown.
We are more dependent on support from the federal government as a state than a lot of wealthier states are. So a lot of people will be negatively impacted. How much impact it will have on the economy, unless the shutdown goes for a long time, I wouldn't expect a lot of impact.
For Arkansas families relying on SNAP, Silverstein says both the proposed changes and the threat of a shutdown could affect how they access food, though the full impact won't be known until it happens. In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Governor Sanders also shared a statement saying she is excited about the announcement to get nutritious food in the hands of Arkansans who need it.
A moment ago, we mentioned the security concerns in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination. At the state capitol today, leaders unveiled a new exhibit that honors the life and legacy of the conservative activist. It'll go in the second-floor rotunda. It'll be open until the end of October. In a statement, Secretary of State Cole Jester said, quote, the exhibit is about ensuring the message of someone who was assassinated is not silenced, but instead is shared louder than ever before, close quote. Kirk's death has also brought the discussion of First Amendment rights center stage. It's a discussion unfolding right now in Russellville as a public school teacher who posted comments shortly after the assassination is facing possible discipline. We're going to have the outcome of that meeting tonight at 10, and then coming up on 6:30 Central, I sit down with John DePippa, Dean Emeritus at University of Arkansas Little Rock's Bowen School of Law. He's going to help us answer some of the top questions being asked about the First Amendment by many across the country.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is considering the proposed Franklin County jail site as a possible location for a new detention center. That's according to Franklin County Sheriff Johnny Crocker.
Yeah, he didn't get advance word of these plans, but instead found out after his chief deputy happened to notice 3 ICE agents at the site and stopped to ask what's going on. And while there, Joe Profiri showed up. That's the governor's prison advisor and her former corrections secretary.
According to Crocker, the agents told his deputy they were looking at the site as a location that could be built quickly. He says the sheriff's office had no knowledge of the agent's visit. This comes as many in the community have expressed they don't want any kind of prison built.
And I think the government should be transparent to people of the state of Arkansas and vice versa the federal government. When you come in here and sneakily buy land and try to force a prison on a county that did not want it, when there's 3 or 4 other counties that wanted a state prison put there, an 800-bed facility, there's counties that wanted that. Franklin County did not want that. We still do not want that.
A spokesperson for the governor's office says her administration is indeed talking with federal officials on how to support border control efforts. State lawmakers have yet to fully fund the proposed prison amid questions over how expensive it'll be and if the site is the best location.
Wait just a moment. We're getting pictures here. Okay. Annie Garrett, she's our weather kid of the night. She's going to be helping us with your forecast coming up after the break. The Big Dam Bridge 100 this weekend. Temperatures start off near 60, going to warm into the lower 80s. Addie has a special trip planned to Northwest Arkansas. We're going to find out more about that forecast when we come back.